Hey there, everyone. Welcome to another bite-sized review. Today we'll be taking a look at The Transformers, the movie from 1986, directed by Nelson Shin, and has a lot of voice acting talent. And this takes place, apparently, in between seasons 2 and 3 of the Transformers 1980s animated series. So it kind of fits right into that in the middle area. And this movie is infamous for, well, spoiler alert, killing off almost every character. um, there is going to be spoilers in this review. However, if you already know this franchise or this movie, then that's not a big deal to you. So again, if you haven't seen this movie, you might want to go see it. Or if you don't care, that's fine, because I'm going to spoil quite a bit of this. There's no way I can't talk about this. I can't talk about this movie without spoiling major details. So anyway, the Transformers the movie, Cybertron is under attack. Autobot City is being destroyed. The Autobots and the Decepticons you're battling for domination, and suddenly this big massive force comes out. This super evil just warlord named Unicron, this giant planet eating monster machine, and he's trying to destroy the galaxy. And so the Autobot and Decepticon war is kind of put to a halt as both sides are trying to take advantage of this new threat. And so we do have a lot of returning faces from the original series. We have Peter Cullen as Optimus Prime, Frank Welker as Megatron. We do have Judd Nelson as a new character, Hot Rod. Believe that's right. We have Robert Stack as Ultra Magnus, another new character. We do have Scatman Crothers returning from the series as Autobot Jazz. And we have Leonard Nimoy as Galvatron, who, it's spoiler alert, Megatron gets turned into Galvatron. It's a whole thing. And Galvatron gets taken over by Unicron, and so Unicron and the Decepticons are working together. And so it's a really cool thing. We also have Orson Welles as the voice of Unicron, who is the main villain in this movie, other than Megatron. There are several amazing sequences in this film. Unfortunately, after all these years of me being on the internet, I somehow got spoiled of the plot twist, the major plot twist of this film, in that, well, Optimus Prime does die. He does get killed by Megatron, and it was kind of Hot Rod's fault. But anyway, Optimus and Megatron had their big final fight, which is one of the best signature scenes in this film, and it's my favorite scene, is their whole final fight and all their one-liners. Optimus does get killed, and so Ultra Magnus is the new leader, and so he's kind of given the matrix of leadership. And spoiler alert, Ultra Magnus dies, and so Hot Rod at the very end takes up the matrix of leadership, and he becomes Rodimus Prime. So that's pretty cool. He defeats Galvatron. There's a whole bunch of weird stuff, like there's this dance sequence on the planet of junk for some reason, and then there's these Sharkticons, there's these Junkians that come out in kind of nowhere. There's a lot of random moments in this film, which is kind of funny. Like, I was laughing a lot during the other scenes, like the Junkian scenes. And then the Sharkticons were kind of cool, but kind of random. But anyway, I think my favorite character is probably Ultra Magnus, either him or RC. RC does return from the show. She's voiced by Susan Blue, which is cool. I did really like Unicron. However, I felt like Unicron was a little wasted. Like, I feel like he was built up to be this big threat. Like, he killed a bunch of the planets in the beginning, and then he didn't really do much. Like, he just kind of sat there, and then Galvatron and Megatron were kind of the ones doing the work, which I guess it makes sense because Megatron is the villain. But still, I really enjoyed the action. The action was fantastic. I think my favorite sequence of the action, besides the Optimus and Megatron fight, is where Optimus comes out, and then you've got Stan Bush's "You Got the Power," and that is playing while Optimus is transformed, and he's just obliterating the Decepticon force, and it's just amazing. You gotta see it. It's awesome. It does play again later. But Optimus shows why he's the best, and it takes a lot to take him down because he is a beast of a leader. Um, I love the animation. The animation is fantastic. One more thing. I did want to say the action. There's a lot of action in this film. So if you love, Transformers battling it out and just this war going on, you're going to get a lot of that. I will say it is a little hard to tell at points what's going on. It's not that noticeable. Like, it's not really a critique, but I'm just saying at some points, at a few points, it's a little hard to tell what's happening. Just, it's a little too fluid, the animation. But anyway, action is fantastic. The music is awesome, especially during the fight sequence. I believe it's I'm trying to think of the song that plays during Optimus and Megatron's fight. It's a classic song. Um, yeah, it's great. There's a lot of great songs from Stan Bush's Dare to Weird Al's Dare to Be Stupid, and there's a brand new theme from Lion doing the Transformers movie theme, and it is absolutely epic. It's my favorite theme of any Transformers series is this movie theme. I heard it for the first time, and I was just blown away. It's like this epic rock jam. It's amazing. There's a lot of great, like, music tracks. Like, the whole score is fantastic. By Vince DiCola. He does the score, and it is amazing. It's a little bit outdated, I guess, by today's standards, but all the music is amazing. I used to have the soundtrack, so I know all the songs. You know what's kind of funny? I had the Transformers movie, like, soundtrack on CD, but I never watched the movie until recently. So, yeah. And I did pick up the 20th anniversary edition, which was cool to get that. Um, the story's cool. There's a lot of people that die in this film. A lot of Autobots. Ratchet dies. Ironhide dies. Jazz. Wheeljack. Um, Hot Rod almost dies. There's a lot of deaths. Optimus Prime, of course, dies. Ultra Magnus dies. There's a lot of death. I think they were killing off all these characters just to make room for new ones, which it kind of makes sense from a business perspective, but then it doesn't make sense from a story view because, these are iconic, established characters. Same with the Decepticons, like Megatron gets killed, Shockwave gets killed, Starscream gets just blown to bits, Devastator dies. There's a lot of deaths. Ramjet gets killed. A lot of these established characters, which is, I guess I can understand the criticism and the kind of the disappointment of them killing off fan favorites, especially Optimus Prime and Megatron, because they are like the main characters. So to kill them off was kind of a gutsy thing to do. It's a risky thing, which I'm glad. I'm sort of glad. Half of me is glad that they did that to kill off all the main ones, because it's a good risk. Like, it brings the stakes up. It tells you that no one's safe. Like, this is an actual war. People actually die in war, which is not a good thing. But for the Transformers franchises, it is kind of a good thing to, take some risks. But I get why parents and especially kids were traumatized, especially by the death of Optimus. If I had seen that in the theater, I probably would have been very, very shocked and very sad. And even watching it, it was pretty heartbreaking. Um, Still, he comes back. Optimus always comes back, so that's cool. It's great. The whole thing is great to me. It has a really nice look to it. The animation is way better than the TV series. It's a step above. It's like a movie budget, so you're getting a better quality, which is cool. And I just love the whole feel of this. Like, it feels like a real war. It feels very similar to the Clone Wars, where it's this gigantic, big battle of all these different characters, and people are actually dying, and it feels like a real war, and all the action and stuff, and it's taking their toll. The Autobots are constantly retreating, and, at the very end, they win. Of course, Unicron gets destroyed, and you know, it's a cool thing. It feels like a real war, which is nice. And yeah, it's really well done. There's a lot of great scenes. You know, Hot Rod's first introduction with the Dare song. You've got all the different Autobots. You know, the reinforcements show up with Optimus. That's cool. Devastator's first appearance. That's pretty cool. You've got Starscream dying right after he betrays Megatron. Um, and yeah, Ultra Magnus getting the Matrix. That's a cool scene. There's a lot of cool scenes. Unicron's transformation is a really cool thing as well. And yeah, I think this is a great film. It's not too long. It's about an hour and 25 minutes, so it's just about right for an animated film. I think if you're a Transformers fan, you've definitely got to give this a watch. At least if you're a fan of the original series and if you want something from that original run, this is probably not the best place to start because again, they kill off a lot of characters. So maybe watch a few episodes of the original series and then maybe this. But if you're a big fan of Transformers movies, this is a great way to enjoy the Transformers as a whole. I'm going to give the Transformers the movie a solid 10 out of 10. I have no real complaints about this film. Because I grew up in a different era, the Michael Bay transforming era. So, yeah. But I love this. I loved it for what it was. It was great. It was enjoyable, very funny at times, very, very cool. Well, what do you think of the Transformers, the movie from 1986? Do you love it? Do you hate it? What do you think of the Bay universe? What Transformers series is your favorite? Let me know. And I'll probably do at least a couple more videos on this movie because I would like to discuss it with you all. And yeah, that's all I got for you today. Thank you for joining me for this. Transform and roll out.